Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to have you join us on the Authentic Fractional CMO Live webinar. We are really excited for everybody that's been very curious about what it's like to work with and be part of Authentic Brand as a fractional CMO. So you're going to learn all about Authentic today, as well as what it's like to be a fractional CMO on our team. Today's webinar is I'm really excited. We have one of our CMOs, Heather Battison, that will be joining us. And so I'm going to start and give a little bit of a perspective on Authentic as a company, our model, and then we're going to have a Q&A with Heather at the end to get more of a fresh perspective of what it's truly like to be a fractional CMO on our team from the perspective of a CMO. Hold on one second, having a little technical difficulty. There we go. Okay, so for today's agenda, I just wanted to tee up what to expect. We'll do some quick introductions, and then we will bring you through so you can officially meet Authentic Brand, understand more about our fractional models, how Authentic Brand is unique. We're going to help you to understand a little bit more about our authentic growth methodology and our authentic mindshare. We'll talk through a little bit about your ideal career path. There are a lot of different paths for fractional CMO, and there's a lot of models out there. So we'll help you to understand who we are as a brand, as a company, and what our model is like. Then we will also, like I said, we'll bring Heather in to give a little bit more perspective on what it's like to be authentic fractional CMO. And then we'll talk through how we can stay connected. And then we'll have a section at the end to do some audience Q&A. So there's two things. There's a chat feature. So if there's any comments that you'd like to add along the way, please use the chat feature. If it is a question that you'd like to get answered, we're hoping to get through everyone's questions at the end. But feel free to add your questions to the Q&A feature. Okay, so quick introductions. I'm Meg Van Sloan. I am the COO and Head of Client Services at Authentic. Heather Battison is one of our amazing CMOs. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this right, but here is our producer, Jenna Soul, Head of Marketing. She's putting this webinar together. She's done an amazing job. So I wanted to give her a little kudos too. Okay, so let's get started on this journey. We're going to help you to meet Authentic Brand. So we have a twofold vision purpose that we live, eat, and breathe by. Half of our vision is to help small to medium-sized companies overcome random acts marketing to get to thoughtful level next growth. We serve clients typically between 5 and 100 million in revenue. The other half of our vision, though, is equally, if not more important, because we feel that passionate about everyone that is part of our team. So the other part of our vision is we help our brilliant marketers and actually our entire operating team as well. We want to make sure that everyone feels like they are being part of a culture that really they can live their best life and love their work, and yes, in that order. So who we are a community of fractional CMOs. Like I talked about, we help small to medium-sized businesses overcome random acts of marketing. So really what that means is we take a thoughtful approach, the right approach to marketing in terms of building it as a business investment, not just working with marketing in a silo and scattering our resources by doing random acts of marketing. We're passionate about creating value for our clients, and the best way to do that, the only way to do that, is to build out marketing aligned with sales as a business investment. And we'll get more into that and how our methodology and how we serve our clients. But first things first, we are a values-based, values-aligned company. These are our core values. We live, eat, breathe. We hire, we fire by these values. We are very passionate about these values, not just for our employees, but everyone in our ecosystem. So we're talking clients, agency partners, and all of our employees. And really, if you boil them down, we just have a no-jerk policy. We want to work with really amazing people, do extraordinary work together, have fun along the way, elevate each other, and nobody gets thrown under the bus ever. So we recognize there are a lot of different fractional models out there, and sometimes it can get really confusing. I've talked to a lot of people along the way, and they're like, gosh, you know what? I keep hearing about this fractional CMO model. I want to be a fractional CMO, but there are so many different models to consider. So I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly. And I should have mentioned in the very beginning, I'm going to go through the slides pretty quickly because I really want to have some time with Heather at the end to have some thoughtful Q&A with you. But we will be sending out the slides and a recap of the webinar afterwards. And a recording, so you can always go back and listen to it again if we're going a little quickly. So fractional CMO models, there are a number of them. There are independent consultants, single shingles out there, communities with gig and freelance marketplaces, agencies that are sort of repositioning their account strategist role as a fractional CMO, staffing firms offering interim, augment, and contract to hire, franchise or licensed brand groups. And then there's the fractional CMO organization with employees. And that is where Authentic falls within that model. So the fractional value proposition for businesses. Sometimes you'll hear people say, gosh, it's going to be a fraction of the cost. It's going to be less expensive. Really, the way that we think of fractional marketing is not that way. We're putting a CMO in the seat. They're 100% accountable for marketing. We are not working on projects. We are working to create the strategy for our clients and then help them to implement along the way. So our CMOs truly function as an acting CMO in our client engagements. They're just there in a fractional level. That does not mean that it's less expensive than a full-time hire. Quite honestly, sometimes and oftentimes we're more expensive than a full-time hire. But the value that we bring to the clients that we serve, we're experienced marketing, leadership, and strategy. Oftentimes these companies have not hired for marketing, or they've had bad hires because they just simply did not know who to hire for. So we come in, they know that we're experienced. We've got the leadership, we've got the strategy experience. We're right sizing the position for the stage of business that they're in. And oftentimes clients don't understand what that means. So they misfire and they bring on the wrong people. And then they're like, oh, marketing is expensive. And it is. It can be wildly expensive if you don't get the right fit. So we like to help our clients understand we're faster impact with high value expertise. And we are lower risk because when you bring in an authentic fractional CMO, you're bringing in the right expertise. We are also very flexible and scalable as a solution-based consulting service. So the fractional value proposition for marketers is, there are people that, and we know we've all been there, where we're in the corporate environment, we're working 60 to 80 hours a week. And you just sometimes need to get off that hamster wheel and get back to the work and the meaningful work and actually have a life that you can live along with your work. So the fractional CMO model with Authentic allows for more flexible hours, lifestyles, making an impact with companies that really value your expertise. All of the CMOs that have come onto our team, that is a huge piece of it. They want to get in and make sure that they can really feel the impact. They're with the clients, they're on the leadership teams. And sometimes when you're in corporate America, the further you get up, the further you get away from understanding where that impact is. We allow and actually want our CMOs to be on several different engagements. The diversity of experiences and businesses makes us all smarter together. It helps our CMOs to really ditch that corporate grind. Again, getting back to the meaningful work that that they got into this career set for, and not having to work 60 to 80 hours. And in fact, our CMOs work anywhere from 32 to 40. And we do not ask for CMOs to work more than 40 hours. So that is a very different lifestyle. And there's a significant earning potential, and it's really sort of up to you. You're along the journey with us. So you've got more of a meaningful impact in that. So the three uniques that we like to talk about when we talk about our model are our marketers, our methodology, and our mind share. And I'll walk you through that a little bit. So our marketers, first and foremost, we look for values alignment. Again, I think, I don't remember if I mentioned it back on that slide, but it's really a no jerks policy. Like, we want to make sure everyone is aligned with our values. So that is number one. The next thing is we are a team of W-2 employees. So our CMOs, they're not contract consultants that are doing their own thing and dipping in and pulling an engagement here and there from Authentic. We are a team. So we're a W-2 employee team. So our CMOs are invested in each other, and they're invested in helping us to build Authentic as a company. We're looking for brilliant senior level marketers. They obviously have to have senior level experience, leadership experience. Our CMOs take a seat at the leadership table. They're on the C-suite. If a client's not ready for that, they're not ready for us. We're looking for people that have vast industry experience. We're an industry agnostic consulting firm. So we really want to have experience in our team from every level, every industry, every go-to-market experience, because it really helps us as a company and as a team of CMOs become smarter and be able to create more value for our clients. We're also looking for very confident consultants, because we are earning our seat at the table every single day that we work with our clients. And of course, we're looking for curious, collaborative, and generous people to be on our team. Our methodology is called Authentic Growth Methodology, and it is really not rocket science. And instead, it's a proven process that we take our clients through. Every one of our CMOs learns this methodology, takes our clients through it, and it's a proven process. We've brought so many clients through it with great success. And it's really an agile structure, which really allows some flexibility in terms of, we know that every CMO that comes to our table is brilliant and they've got other things to bring to the table. So we've got some agile structure built in, but we do bring every single one of our clients through the methodology. And what our clients love about this is they're coming in at a state where oftentimes they don't really understand marketing at all. And so for us to bring them through a journey, helping them to understand where we're starting, where we're heading to, and how we're going to get there, it really eases their minds. For a CMO, it's really amazing because our CMOs come in and there's so many different ways that you can approach how to get to the North Star for each client. But we come in as a team and we work under the same methodology, which really allows us to tap into each other. We might have one CMO that is creating a marketing action plan that looks slightly different than somebody else, and they're going to learn along the way. I always laugh because the education system, we're always taught, keep your eyes on your own page, like don't look at anybody else's work. And that is true as we're growing up. But once you come to this point in your career, it is so valuable to learn from others. So what our CMOs absolutely love and our clients love, when you come onto our team, you get access to everything that we're doing, every CMO, all the work, and we're sharing, constantly sharing. I don't want anyone to start from ground zero. I want you to come onto the team, see what other people have done, how other people have created their marketing action plans and their roadmaps. And we're going to learn and we're going to grow stronger and we're going to create more value quicker for our clients and feel supported as a team. So I'm just going to show you a couple quick snapshots from our methodology that two of these slides really help us to help people to understand how we approach marketing differently. So to truly approach marketing in a business investment kind of way, this is one of the pieces of our methodology. We help our clients understand. We need to understand their higher level purpose. Why does it even matter that they exist as a company? And why are people interested in knowing about them? We need to understand what their goals are. We call these our North Star. Everybody in the company should know this, but we need to know this as marketers and marketing leaders. We need to understand, what is that North Star that we're trying to get you to? We're kind of like the ways of marketing, right? We're getting in the car with you. We want to know where you want to go. If you just tell us you want to go somewhere warm, we don't understand, because you could be wanting to go to Palm Springs. You might want to go to Sanibel Island. We really need to get very, very clear on where we're heading as a company. And then the next piece of it is business priorities. Like, what are the priorities that we've set as a company to understand that we can get to those next level North Star, that goal? And then we start the marketing work, the foundation building to it, and everything that we're doing, we're going to be building, we're going to be looking through that lens of impact and burden analysis. Is this going to help us to get to that North Star? And if so, is it going to get us there quicker? Less amount of resources? That's something that we should really look at. And by the way, when I say quick, we always caveat this with clients. Marketing is not quick. There are sometimes some quick hits along the way, but marketing is really a blend of art and science. And we help our clients, even before they become clients, to help them to understand marketing's not just, putting the faucet on and leads are just magically pouring out. If a prospective client, that's why they want to hire us, we simply will not take them on, because that is not how you do marketing right. And there is no glass crystal ball for us to say, gosh, this is when this is going to start coming in. We really look at building everything out like a house, like very firm foundation, the structure to get us to where we need to go. And it's going to take some time. Another piece of our methodology is our marketing maturity matrix. What our CMOs and our clients love about this, we start our journey with our clients with assessments, audits, some discoveries. We help them to understand where they're at within the marketing maturity matrix at this point in time. And then each quarter, we go back in and assess, where have we moved the needle? Where do we still need to move the needle? And what our clients absolutely love about this is they get a snapshot into, oh my gosh, this is the work that we're doing. Here's where we're going. It's very different than a lot of consultancies where sometimes things are done behind the curtains or in the agency world. I worked in the agency world for years. There were oftentimes we were taking problems, solving them behind the curtains, and then tying them up with a nice bow and handing them to our clients. That is not what we do. We walk side by side with our clients. We help them to understand every step of the way, the work, the value that we're creating, and where we need to continue to go to really get them to that flywheel status. Okay, so then the third unique is our mind share. And quite honestly, I would say that this is our secret sauce that really attracts people to Authentic. Our mind share, we work together as a team behind the scenes. So each of our clients gets one of our CMOs on a long-term engagement. We're not doing projects. We are along for the longer term ride with our clients in these engagements. But we know, marketing, there are no marketing unicorns. There's not one singular marketer out there that knows everything. Specifically, everything that's happened in the last 3 years, marketing has changed even more dynamically. So there's just, quite honestly, there's no way that one singular person can know everything. And so our way to approach this is we work as a team behind the scenes, and we share. We're on Zoom meetings 3 times a month, sharing what's working, what's not working, sharing our successes together. One of the most important thing in those things in the meeting is people coming to the table saying something doesn't work. And the team that we are building, we want that vulnerability. We want you to be able to come to the table and say, you know what, I have tried this strategy and worked on it with many different clients, and it's worked so flawlessly, but for some reason it's not working and I don't know why. And so then at that point in time, our team surround sounds you. We truly work as a team and we solve together. Nobody is on an island alone. So when you go back to the model where you see a lot of people jumping out of corporate America to hang their single shingle, there's a lot of things that are, it's lonely. You're doing it all on your own, not just the back end infrastructure of your business, but when something comes up, who are you asking? And so it was really funny. I asked our team not long ago some things about Mindshare, and a few of our CMOs and our clients alike. Our clients love that we have a Mindshare, that they can ask a question and say, hey, could you bring it back to the Mindshare? And then we've got all of our CMOs tackling it or thinking about it. We're also actively collaborating on Slack day in and day out. But 2 things that somebody said on how they described what our mind share is like. It's, first of all, the culture, being together as a team. I don't feel like I'm alone on an island anymore. Somebody called it's kind of like chat CMO. And so one of our clients actually said, I love your mind share. It's like a CMO encyclopedia. There's probably a lot of you on this webinar that are far too young to remember what an encyclopedia is, but it was just like a really great honor to hear that. So You're not in it alone. If you're with Authentic, you are working through together. Okay, so for your ideal path, like I mentioned, our model is different. And so we really do, I think, a really fabulous job of trying to create the right resources, the content, the touch points ahead of bringing people into our CMO community to help them to understand who we are, who we're not, what best aligns with coming onto our team. Because quite honestly, our model is really amazing for people, a lot of CMOs that want to do this fractional CMO lifestyle, but sometimes it's not. And it's our job. We want to be as transparent as possible to help you to understand, the path with Authentic to see if it really is the right choice for you. It's my job to really help to build out the right CMO team and make sure that we can successfully move forward with Authentic, but it's your one life. So we want to give you all the tools to do the investigation to really figure out, is this the right path for you? So on our website, we have a ton of different resources and content. I'd recommend checking it out. There's also some questions that we think are really important for people to answer when they're considering this path. Do you want to manage your own business? Do you want to work solo? And it's okay. Some people do, and that is absolutely okay. That's just not us as Authentic. Do you prefer short-term projects or long-term engagements? If you prefer short-term projects, again, that's not where we go. We lay in the state of longer-term engagements with our clients. We're on retainers. So we're looking at 1 to 2. We've got one client that is on year 4, but typically 1 to 2, year retainers that we're looking for. So if you are kind of looking for that consulting lifestyle where you're like, oh, I want to do a project for a 3-month period, and then I want to take 2 months off, and then I want to do another project, that is awesome, but that is not us. Are you motivated to do business development? We are looking for people that want to come onto our team and help us to build Authentic together, but that can mean a number of different things. We have some CMOs that love business development. We have our own business development team, but we love when CMOs bring us leads, and then we can work together to convert those into sales. But there are other ways that our CMOs help us to build Authentic that are not necessarily, true business development as we oftentimes see it in more the sales realm. And that can be being an advocate on LinkedIn, just sharing our story in every different way and networking environment that you're in. There's a myriad of different thought leadership opportunities that we bring to our CMOs, whether it's webinars, blogs, we've got virtual panels, and we're open for other ideas too. So there's a lot of ways for our CMOs to help us to build Authentic together without actually sitting in that business development role. Another question is, are you better suited to build your own brand or being associated with an established, trusted brand? Again, if you are gung-ho about creating your own brand and you really want to get behind it, that is amazing. But as a team, we are building Authentic together and we are part of one company. So if that is your intent and your passion in your heart to build out your own brand, we will be cheering you on. It's just, again, that is not who we are as a company. And then what you really to consider, what are your income and benefit requirements? We won't be going through all the details in that in the webinar. We won't have time today, but if we start going down the path with you, and we'll talk a little bit more about the path onto our team, we are really transparent. We give you all the information up front so you can make a really good decision. Okay, so the fractional value proposition of Authentic Brand. So when our CMOs come onto our team, they are a part of our Authentic Mindshare, our peer community. They also have access to what we call our Authentic Ally Network. Part of our value proposition for our clients, which is also different than a lot of consultancies. Like I mentioned, we're not coming in as a project. We're coming in as a long-term retained engagement. We help them to understand. We're going to help them to set the strategy, the right strategy to get them to their North Star. But along the way, we're going to help them to implement. We're going to be the CMO that's going to figure out, what is the team or what are the resources that we need? What is the budget? How are we going to actually activate? And so oftentimes when we come in, there might be a client that doesn't have a marketing team, an active marketing team. They may have very junior, young marketing team. They might have a marketing team. They're like, we have all these people, but we don't know if they're the right people in the right seats. Or we've worked with agencies. We don't know how to work with agencies. So we recognize that there's sometimes gaps there. And so what we've done at Authentic Brand is we have very organically over the years, and now it is a very structured, formulated network that we've created of over 30 agency partners that we have vetted against our values. They feel like they're part of Authentic Brand, but they are not. They are their own entities. We simply refer them in to our client engagements to help our CMOs to create greater value quicker for our clients. We do not white label them or upcharge their services. So it's been a really, really amazing part of the journey. And the allies come to us and they help us to get smarter and sharper on the trends that are happening out there. So when we have our marketing, our mindshare meetings 3 times a month, oftentimes we'll bring in an ally partner that will do a TED Talk. So again, we're continuously learning along the way together. We also obviously offer the methodology that I talked through. So each and every one of our clients is brought through the methodology. And when you come onto the team, we teach you the methodology. And we've got all the resources to do some self-guided tours as well. There's no business development required. As I said, some people love to do, to bring leads, and then you'll be compensated with spiffs along the way. That is absolutely fine. But there are other ways to help us to grow through thought leadership and other advocacy. There's a significant earning opportunity. You would be becoming onto a trusted, established brand. Like I said, there's a lot of opportunities to continue your thought leadership platforms. You're on longer term engagements. It is our CMO's job. Their job is to come in, help us to win the new clients with their meet and greets, and then help us to get in and create value for the clients, retain and grow the clients. But they're not in it alone. Our entire team, we've got client services, we've got everyone's surround sound. So even the retention piece of it, it is not all on our CMO's shoulders. That is a big piece of their work. But when we're in there, we're creating the value, we're creating all the necessary things that the clients need. They want to retain us. And then, as I said, we've got client services, we've got a lot of other resources and support behind the scenes that are helping our CMOs. And Heather will help you to understand a little bit more about that from the CMO perspective in just a few minutes. And beyond like the client services team that I was telling you about, we've got a full back office support. So you're not worried, you're not taking on the HR, the IT, the finance piece of it. There's no more invoicing. We invoice all of our clients. And in fact, we pay our CMOs ahead of our clients paying us. So that is a huge difference too. If you have your own single shingle, your own shop, you're all of a sudden switching out your hat, and now you're becoming the finance person that is going after clients that have not paid, which can, it's a strange kind of two-sided relationship. We take all of that out. We want our CMOs really just to create the relationships with the clients as the CMO. The back-end office, we take care of all the other things. So this is just a quick picture that we like to show that really helps everybody understand who we are and who we're not. So we are the hot air balloon. We're in the basket together, rising authentic and rising, elevating everybody along the way. We are not the paraglider on the other side of the screen, which is a solo person heading out, building out their brand, and just wanting to kind of be a peripheral part of something. And either model is totally fine. We just like to be very, very transparent of who we are to help everybody, set everybody up for success. So authentic brand requirements. When we're looking at CMOs, I'm going to go through this really, really quickly. We're looking for, again, active advocates, brand builders, absolutely senior level people that have amazing marketing chops, but confident consultants as well, because again, we are earning our seat at the table every single day we work with clients. So the other requirements are you have to be available for W-2 employment, aligned to our values, as I described in the past slides, desire to build a really amazing CMO consulting career together, consistently available for up to 32 hours with a long-term engagement mindset, that 12 to 24 plus months. Passion for helping small to medium-sized businesses, that's a must. There are a lot of people that have been amazing corporate marketers, but have been just with really big companies. That doesn't completely exclude you. If you've got a passion for small to medium-sized businesses, I would definitely love to still learn about that. But there are a lot of marketers that have been just in larger organizations that have huge budgets, and it's very different than working with small to medium-sized businesses. When a business brings us in, oftentimes they don't know how to invest in marketing. So it is a huge investment. So we as CMOs need to be really cognizant of budgets. And it's sometimes very different than sort of that ivory tower CMO that has just been in big companies with big budgets. We're looking for people that have at least 15 plus years of marketing leadership experience. You've had some time on the C-suite. You're, amazing at relationships with the C-suite. You've had 5+ years as a senior director, VP, or CMO level. We do recognize that there are different titles in different companies, so we're very open to understanding what those titles meant and what kind of experience you had, but definitely looking for people that have had leadership experience as well as full accountability management experience. So running and managing a marketing team, managing agencies. If you have agency experience, that is definitely a plus, but we are looking mainly for people that have significant in-house client-side experience and not just agency experience. Okay, other important criteria, like I mentioned, vulnerability, transparency, people that are on our team are authentic, they're real. Everybody knows the real person that they see either in person on our team or on Zoom. There are no facades. Nobody has to, try to put on this facade of I have to be so smart in everything. You don't. Everybody is in it together to help elevate each other. We want humble, lifelong learners. We want you to come to the table with something that you're going to help elevate our team. And we want you to come to the table with something that you want to learn from our team. We are absolutely looking for people that do not want to take on a full-time job. So you have to be dedicated to the consulting lifestyle. We're looking for people that love to embrace variety, diversity, have several clients. They're excited about retaining and growing our clients. Ready to leverage our methodology. It is a must. If you come onto our team, we absolutely are working with our clients on every single client engagement. We need to bring them through our methodology. That is part of our service offering, our value proposition. So if you are a marketer that has your own methodology and it's like, gosh, I don't, I can't, or I don't want to do something different, we're just not the right spot for you to be planted in. And we're looking for just confident consultants, again, earning our seat at the table every single day that we work with our clients. Okay, so a lot of people have asked, what's the pathway to our team? Because we are a W-2, we're a little bit different W-2 model. We're a W-2 employment model, and our employees, our W-2 fractional CMOs, get paid while they're on client engagements. So we always like to be very thoughtful in everything we're doing. So we purposely do not just bring people directly onto our team until we have an engagement for them. We are also very, very passionate about making the right fit between CMOs and clients. It is a process. It is not, okay, here's a client that we want to work with. Okay, here's a warm body. Let's match them up. That is absolutely not how we work. So the reason I say that is because we're very, very thoughtful about the match process. So sometimes it can take some time. Sometimes it happens very quickly. Sometimes it can take a little time. About 2 years ago, we recognized we needed to have that next level talent other than just our team. We were going to, expand past our current capacity. We thoughtfully looked at it and didn't want to create a bench like a lot of consultancies do, where it's like, we're going to have hundreds of CMOs in our CRM. And then as we get a new prospect, we're going to say like, okay, just pick one and you're going to hear crickets until we call you. We didn't want that. We just felt like that it was not, that was not within our value structure. So instead what we did is 2 years ago, we created what we call our CMO peer advisory. So it is our next level. You're not on our team yet. You're not an employee. It is a part of the CMO community that you join. It is an additional way for us to vet you to make sure that you'd be the right person, the right fit as we're looking at different engagements. But equally, if not more important, it is another chance for you to vet us to understand, is Authentic, is this path, is this truly what you want to do? Are you going to be a good fit? And so the way that this happens, first of all, I should take a step back. Anybody that's interested in becoming a CMO with Authentic, we have an application on our website. So you would fill that out. We would review it and we'll get back to you within a few days, helping you to understand where you're at in the process. If it's a fit that we want to start talking to you about bringing you on for that next peer advisory, talking to you a little bit more about it. So we'll have a screening, interviewing process. Then if you end up getting invited, we have a pool of CMO peer advisors that we build out. We're very thoughtful because the intent is if we're bringing you into the CMO peer advisory, we're really hopeful that we're going to be able to get you onto the team. There is no guarantee. Again, it goes back to whether we can find that right fit. But our intention is if you get an invite to come into the CMO peer advisory, we're really excited to try to figure out how to get you onto the team. And so we're very thoughtful in that as well. If you get the invite, you will sign a mutual NDA, and then we will share all of our employment agreements with you, just so you can really truly understand and ask the questions up front. Then we have what we call a letter of intent. It's just simply you signing off saying, yes, I've read through all the documents. I don't have any other questions. You're not signing anything else at that point. We put you through a background check. Once that clears, we bring you into the CMO peer advisory. The CMO peer advisory, how that is very different than just a traditional bench that other consultancies have. We are firm believers. We want to introduce you to the team. So you get introduced to the team, you get invited to our Mindshare meetings. So 3 times a month, you're able to participate with our entire team to really fully understand what it's like to be part of the CMO team. You're also invited into our Slack channel. So every day you'll be part of that collaboration. It's a chance for you to understand what it's like to be a fractional CMO at Authentic. It's also a chance for us to see how you would contribute to our community as well. You also get Authentic email. You get to put a profile on your LinkedIn, but the email allows you to get into our IP. We will share our methodology with you. We want you to dig in as much as you want. So it's really a chance for you to really kind of feel, what is it like to be part of the team? Okay, so this is really what everybody's been waiting for. Okay, so I am so excited to bring Heather up to the table. I'm sure everyone is tired of me speaking. So Heather, I have a few questions I would love to ask. Just to give us your complete transparent feedback on what it's like to be an authentic CMO. So are you ready for a couple questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So I've got them written down here. Okay. So the first one I would love your, just your commentary on is, why did you choose to become a fractional CMO, and why did you choose to pursue that career path with Authentic Brand?
Yeah, great. So like millions of people, I definitely, when going through COVID, put life in a completely different perspective, right? I was a marketing leader, running a team, pretty substantial role, working probably 60 hours a week. I'm a working mom. I mean, I'm married and my husband and I split the duties 50-50, but there's something about having younger kids, and working all the time and watching their faces when you're like, wait, I gotta run to a call. I questioned whether or not I could do it all. So I personally took a break. For the first time in my life, I didn't work for 6 months, which was really scary and really exhilarating at the same time, and put a lot of things into question. I love marketing. I'm one of those rare ones that knew I wanted to be in marketing in middle school. being actively involved in DECA and things like that. So I've always loved marketing. And I didn't want to lose that piece of myself, yet I still wanted to make sure my priorities were in check. So I didn't know anything about being fractional. And I decided to start looking around for different employment opportunities, and I was going to work part-time. And a recruiter that I was talking to recommended I look into this. So it blew me away. The whole business model blew me away. I'm like, this is exactly what I was looking for and didn't know. Oh, sorry, of course, then my dog would start barking. That's authentic. So I didn't know it was what I was looking for. I didn't know it existed. And then when I read it, I'm like, that's it. So for me, it was truly wanting to continue doing what I love, while having that work-life balance, is what led me down the fractional path. Why I chose working with Authentic Brand. Authentic Brand, it was that immediate connection with Meg, and truly everyone that I started speaking with that worked for Authentic Brand had a similar story. We've all been there. We've all gotten to the point where we work so hard to get to a certain level, and you get a little burnt out and you question, why am I doing this? There's so many pros and cons, right? But I think what led me to really stick with Authentic Brand or choose Authentic Brand was it gave me that flexibility and really instilled the values and matched my personal values that I wanted to continue with. So.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. What do you love about being a fractional CMO with Authentic, and why do you continue to stay? And I know you probably have touched on that in the last answer. So however you want to answer that one.
Yeah. So there's a lot of uniqueness to Authentic Brand that you just touched on in the presentation that I just think it's important to highlight from a CMO's perspective. One of them is there's truly no handoff of you go through the whole dating period of matching the CMO with the client, right? And then there's no handshake, see ya, good luck, bring in the dollars. There's no, it's more of this relationship and we got your back. And it's truly spectacular. The methodology that Meg walked through is something that as an Authentic Brand CMO, we all truly believe and continually update together. So it's not this rigid process by any means, but it's something that we believe and always want to make better and adapt and learn as we go through all these experiences. And there's a lot of templates and tools and resources that we have our hands on that just make it that special of a whole relationship, the whole circle. And then two, I've seen this firsthand even recently. We do have a seat at the table as a client, or I'm sorry, as a fractional CMO. We become so ingrained with the client's culture, with their teams, that people forget that we're fractional, that we are consultants. They think of us as part of their team. And that's a difference, because I continually with my clients, they also hire a lot of other consultants who don't have that mentality. They're consultants, they work certain hours, they bill certain hours, or they're working on a project. I often consult on things outside of marketing. And I think that's what's truly special and that you should know. You're part of the leadership team. And that in marketing, yes, is involved with everything, right? It's just like sales. But I weigh in on decisions on other folks to hire onto the leadership team, other partners for technology, so many other components that truly make it an integrated approach. So it's kind of a long-winded answer, but
It's great.
yeah, but there's just so many aspects of the uniqueness compared to, thinking of yourself as a consultant, right? I think that was everything.
Yeah, that was great. Okay. Can you share what your experience has been like on the team as part of the mind share and part of the clients? And I know some of these questions you've already sort of answered.
Sure.
So, and share how you feel best.
Yeah. So I had a laugh Meg, when I saw on the slide of some of the other names that we call Mindshare, and you called it CMO or what have you. You know what I refer to it as? I call it,
yeah, I know. I had
call
that
it
pop in
group
my email.
therapy. It's group
Oh yeah.
therapy. Because, you know, this is something that I didn't have for so many years when you are leading marketing teams, when you work for companies. You know, the Mindshare, we meet 3 times a month and for an hour each time. And we work together and talk about things that we're experiencing with clients or trends or things that we just aren't working, and we're honest. And there's no ego, no competition. You're talking to like-minded people and helping each other out. And it's phenomenal. I mean, it is group therapy. You're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one that didn't understand this. Or, you know, what do you guys all think of G4? It's throwing me for a loop. You know, there's so many things that happen on a daily basis as marketers, but it's so great to be able to have this team of experts to tap. They might not know the industry well, but we're marketers at the end of the day. And it's just so great to have that lifeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think I love that. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to I think on our Mindshare today, I'm going to ask everyone, if you weren't to call it Mindshare, what would you call it?
Yeah.
That's what our question should be today. That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything else about Authentic Brand, the 3 Uniques, anything else that you'd want to share with, you know, everybody out there that's just wondering a little bit more about what is authentic, our model, and what is it like to really be? Anything else that you can think of?
Yeah. I can't stress the benefit of having our ally network enough. And I know that's kind of like internal lingo. What that means for us, we have a well-vetted list of different partners or consultants, agencies, etc., at our fingertips that we can recommend to clients. And the reason why it's so important, especially as a fractional CMO, we'll come into clients and we can't do everything ourselves. And 2, we don't know everything. And I think it's important that we do raise our hands and say, here's an example. I know that we need a new CRM. I'm not the one to be able to tell you how to do it, but I know who can. We have this list of folks that we have used over and over, have gone through a very long vetting process, and we trust that we can pick up the phone and bring them in to help clients, so to move further faster. And the client doesn't have to go through an RFP. It's not weeks of doing research of trying to find the right fit or right partner. We can get it going quickly. And I think that is a huge benefit to the client, end all, right? But also to us too, because we can keep doing our job and showing our value. It's just value in a different way that we can move faster. So our ally network's phenomenal. It's over a whole span of different competencies, and we're always growing it and always reviewing as a team of what needs we need or what needs we need to fill. And I think that's just a huge benefit to our clients and a uniqueness about us as well. So.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, Heather, thank you for sharing everything about your perspective about being a CMO on the team. It's been great.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I know we had a couple other things. Actually, before I get into, and if anyone has any other open-ended questions, please feel free to put them in to the Q&A. But I realized I went through one slide a little too quickly because I just realized I didn't touch on, once you're a peer advisor, how do you get onto the team, which is a very important, crucial piece of it. So once you're on the peer advisory, like I said, you are invited into all of our mind shares, you're invited into our Slack, it's going to feel like you're almost on the team, but it is not a position on AB quite yet. The way that you make it onto the team is a couple things. Once you are on the team, we are always going to prioritize you in terms of what is your ideal capacity that you'd like to be at? And again, it's typically between that 32 to 40 hour mark. We're going to work really hard to get you your capacity filled as quickly as we can. Sometimes it can take some time. So again, the consulting mindset, that's really powerful and important. But there are also some times where a prospective client will come And as I mentioned, the match is a really important part of our process. So there may be a point where a new prospect comes and we don't have the right experience on the team, the exact right experience or the right capacity. And then we start to look at the peer advisory. We've had peer advisors, well, the fastest one that's ever come on about a month and a half ago. I didn't even get to introduce the CMO as a peer advisor. As I was about to introduce him, we had a really amazing prospect come to us that was perfect for his experience, his capacity, everything. And we didn't have the right fit on our team. So he came onto our team immediately before I could even introduce him as a CMO peer advisory or advisor. That is a bit of an anomaly, but that is how fast it can happen. It can also be that you might be sitting on the peer advisory for 4 months. Like, we don't have a crystal ball. It's really dependent on when engagements come in. So while you're on the peer advisory, you can have your own clients. We actually recommend that. So you can be doing your own consulting. We just ask you to have at least 20 hours of availability. And the reason we say 20 is because our retained retainers are 12, 16, and 20 hours. So if we do find that perfect match at 20 hours, we want to be able to bring you in right away. So that's why we ask for the 20. And then, at that point, you would come in for a meet and greet. Once the client's like, yes, we want to move forward, then it moves really fast. Then we figure out what the start date is and we bring you on. The reason, if you step back in a couple of those steps, why we bring the employment agreements, our handbooks, our benefits overview, everything to you before you become a peer advisor, we want to make sure if there's any questions that we're getting them answered at that point in time, because once you get into those meet and greets, it's just a really fast motion forward. Like, we're going to win the deal, hopefully, and then we're going to start very quickly. And we, again, want to be thoughtful in every step that we have and make sure that we're getting questions answered and aren't rushing anyone through the process. Okay. Couple things. So let's stay connected. A couple different ways we can stay connected. We can follow us on LinkedIn. Again, there are some really great resources that our marketing team has put together on our website to help you further explore whether being a fractional CMO at Authentic Brand is the right path for you. If so, the next step, if you haven't done so already, is to apply and get into the queue for next steps. The other thing that we are continually exploring is opening up even wider communities. So I can't share a ton, but as our vision for community building extends, we'll continue to keep you tuned on that and stay tuned on that as well. We also have weekly email or newsletters that go out too. So if you sign up for that, that's another great way to stay connected with us. Okay. So I don't think we haven't had any questions. I think that's because Heather, you did a brilliant job of really helping understand what it's like to be a fractional CMO on Authentic. So thank you for taking the time to do that. And if we don't see any questions rolling in, I want to be cognizant of everybody's time, but I do appreciate everyone that has shown up and taken the time to be with us. Thanks, Mark. Mark just said great. So thanks for being here, everybody. And do please stay in touch. And whether, for some people, it might be the right path. It might not be the right path now. That's okay. Stay in touch with us. We're continually building and adding to our team. So we appreciate everybody spending the time with us today. Thanks, Star. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jenny.